I'm Carl Lavis. I'm the Associate Director of the Counseling and Testing Center at Western Kentucky University. Kind of the less complicated, the less involved explanation, and certainly this person can still be as troublesome or dangerous, is kind of the narcissist. And so if they're interested in someone, they kind of have a mild fantasy going in their head that this person wants them, needs them, and they're going to make it happen. They've created a very rich fantasy that basically says they have to have that person, they couldn't possibly exist without that person. Those are the people who sadly at sometimes get to the point where they say, well, if I can't have you, then no one can have you. And that's often your homicide, suicide scenario. And just any kind of over-the-top interest in a person. I mean, it's natural, particularly among college students. We're here for a short time. We meet a lot of people. We tend to start relationships without a whole lot of information, and then find out if that person's right for us. And there's nothing wrong with that. But stalkers tend to do that times two. Stalkers just have this way of putting people up on a pedestal. You just have all of that kind of that energy going into the person trying to find out a bunch of information about you, finding out where you are all the time, and then they show up a lot. They show up where you work out, where you get coffee. They drive by your house a lot. Now.
Yes, my name is Dominic Ocello. I'm a captain here at the WKU Police Department. Stalking is broken up into really two different sections. What you've got is the primary stalking, which is a felony. What you're looking at is something where you stalk a person in public, following her about in a public place, and you make explicit threats that will put someone in a reasonable fear of imminent danger or death. What you then have is a secondary, which will be a misdemeanor stalking, to where you still got the fear and threat of injury, but it's not a serious injury, it's not death. The third option is more of a harassment. That is where anyone follows you in or about a public place that makes you uncomfortable. So if somebody is just walking behind you, they may not say, hey, I'm going to kill you. You may not feel like you're in fear of death, but you're annoyed. It's something that you don't want, you're not comfortable with. Then that's where the harassment comes in. Over the last several years, we've been very fortunate that we haven't had very many stalkings. It's definitely a criminal case that we take seriously, being a felony. It is something that we report to both the state and the federal government through our Cleary and Menger reporting statistics. From 2014, we had 0. In 2013, we had 0. 2012, 0. 2011, 0. It was back in 2010 that we had 1. And then 2009 that we had 1. So over the last 5 or 6 years, we're looking at 2 cases of stalking on Western's campus. What we see here on campus most of the time meets the harassment qualifications. That's where you know the person that's doing it, you're not comfortable with them, whether it's an ex-boyfriend, a friend that's just not taking a hint, or something to that effect, to where it makes you uncomfortable. You're not happy that they're following you, but you're not afraid of them. Okay. You really just want them to leave you alone. And for those situations, what we wind up doing is more of a harassment. The person is annoying you by following you, but you're not in any actual present danger. If you feel as though you're being followed, whether it's stalking, harassment, or just something that makes you uncomfortable, the main priority is let someone know. Tell someone. And that's one of the things that we really do on Western's campus is if you see something, say something. If you're uncomfortable by this, let an RA know, let a hall director know, let counseling and testing know, let judicial affairs know, let the police department know. Really anyone that you feel comfortable talking to, talk to that person. What turns out a lot of times is you're not the only person going through this. If someone has an unhealthy attachment to you or is just too close, you may not be the only person that they're doing this to. So by you saying something, you may be helping someone else that's in the same boat. And that's really, helping each other out and helping the campus be a better place where we can promote learning and safety, and where your biggest concern is the test on Friday. So really our main thing is, if you see something, say something to someone. That really gets the ball rolling, whether you want to try to do something criminal or whether you want it handled judicially. Absolutely. Well, we try to put information out. Of course, we do the annual report that's open to everyone. It can be looked at online at the WKU Police Department webpage. Our university does a lot with parents and students to make sure that they know of the services that are provided. There's like the ATP for incoming freshmen, there's freshman seminar, there's a lot of meetings and walking campus, the tours that are given, and a lot of things are just explained to both the parents and the students. Things like our escort service here at the police department, where if you're walking around late at night and you want an officer to walk with you or take you back to your dorm, we provide that service. We have emergency phones so that if you are feeling as though you're being stalked or someone's harassing you, or you're just not comfortable, push the button. But we respond to those just like a 911 call. There are counselors that you can talk to, somebody that you can just open up with no fear of names getting out. There's no questions. There's no going back to parents or students, classmates that you may not want to know. It's completely anonymous, and it gives you the opportunity to vent. The police department's always open for anyone that wants to come in and talk. Remember that with us at the university, there's a lot of ways we can handle things. If it doesn't meet one of these criteria, or we have trouble, because you really don't know who it is, or you're not sure if you want to press charges, still come and talk to us, and often get a resolution that you're comfortable with without having to feel like you're a victim.
I